Sometime last year, during the wake of this INEC Amendment Act at the Senate, I wrote to the current chairman on INEC at the Senate Committee chairman on INEC, Senator Nazif, and I equally wrote to his counterpart at the House of Rep, Hajia Aisha Duku, which I made an observation and a suggestion on a particular issue that during the election time, the so-called returning officer of the INEC, simply because the power had been given to him to conduct an election, then selfishly, you will give a vote to somebody who was not even a desire of the community. That is political disaster. So I recommend to them, but unfortunately during the compilation of the electoral reform for today is not included. I recommend that if a court or a tribunal finds such officers wanting, you should be given 20 years imprisonment. Look at the issue of the last 2003 Anambra election. The INEC returning officer refused to show up at the polling booth up to 2 o'clock. The intending voters were, they are not happy. They were frustrated. Some of them haven't gone home. Eventually, this man showed up. I think up to today, the case is still in the court, and nothing has been talked about during the period. So what are we talking about? We are still very much in darkness. If you look at the election of US, every one of them are educated, not educated, I can say, but they are enlightened. They have information to every one of them. They know what is happening. You cannot go and induce anybody either to give him 1 kobo or 2 kobo because they are voting based on the competence of that particular a candidate who wants to occupy such a relevant office. So today we don't care. We always get it wrong during our leadership procession, selection process.
But
people
Mr.
just come from nowhere.
If I may come in here, you just said something about the votes based on the competence of that individual. But in our system, it is not the individual that's getting the votes. According to the laws, it is the party that's getting the vote. So how do you expect the Nigerian citizen who has seen me, I'm not saying I'm contesting, who has seen me and said, okay, I want Nelta to be my president, how do you expect him to vote for me when he probably doesn't like my party? How would that work?
Legally speaking, I'm not a lawyer anyway, legally speaking, the political party has the vote. But the candidate who has been put forward still matters. Look at the 2015 election. When Buhari came up, what happened? You saw people excited. People come out and they gave their vote massively for that man to be emerged as the president of this country. That's what I'm saying. Legally, is political party has the vote. But when you look at the moral and the other, the integrity of the person still has to come to play. That is what I think is very, very important. But I still remember, I still go back to what I've been saying, that who is in charge or whose work it is to disseminate information to the public. Like when I was small, we have what we call public enlightenment campaign. They will bring out a Land Rover with a speaker, educating, telling the people in the rural area of what government has in stock for them and what they intend to do. And from there, they give them, it's just like a two-way feedback of a thing. Then when it changed into a MAMSA, then from MAMSA to NOA. Today, we don't have that. Everybody just go to the office, believe in selfish interest, but they care. So that is, if we didn't care for the right to be done, this is what we are going to experience, and it will continue to be. Because honestly, I don't just understand. Today we have gone to school, we have so many PhDs, we have so many professors, and we're still in this kind of wars. What kind of country do you want to have for this country? Honestly, it has been a traveling.
All right. Mr. Arigbabu, now, we have talked about citizen participation, very important, all in the face of the factors that is demoralizing the Nigerian voter. We talk about failed electoral promises and other issues. How do we go about encouraging the Nigerian voter, even in the face of all of these challenges?
Thank you, and thank you for raising that, because that's a responsibility for all of us, really, if we indeed truly desire a good country. So if we unbundle what the issues are, the first thing is that we need people to get their PVCs. The CVR that is ongoing, like my colleague in Abuja said, it's a good thing that we are not having this crash cost. In the past, we just have our next day, or the next 1 month we are registering. And this is good that this is happening. But then, when you look at that process, there are people who are really encumbered, because the first thing the man is thinking about is the survivor, is how to keep his job. His boss is not going to give him time off. So you can't quickly rush through your break time, because where you live is not where you're probably going to vote. So we need to either solve that problem by making sure that in spite of where you register, if you are within the same state, jurisdiction, you can, maybe you are working on the island, you register there, will you be able to vote in Abule Egba when the election comes? Is it that we are doing that, or we encourage INEC to perhaps allow some weekend, the CVR to also go on for at least some weekends, so that people who are forced to go to work and are not able to do that will be able to exercise that during such provisions. Beyond the CVR itself, it's also about elites getting off their comfort zone and really engaging people, because we find people go on social media and make all sort of complaints. They're making the sacrifice, like someone has said. INEC has improved on its responsibility a lot. Now we as citizens need to make demands of the process that is going to help us to emerge new leaders. We are going to make demands on INEC, we are going to make demands on National Assembly, we are going to make demands on the executive. We are going to make demands on all those institutions that should make INEC's work easier. The National Orientation Agency recently came together with civil society and agreed on a coalition to deepen and get voter education to those hard-to-reach places. Now, that's a responsibility for them. It's a responsibility for civil society organizations. It's a responsibility for faith-based organizations, the mosques, the churches, the traditional institutions. Because if we truly want people to be interested again in being part of the process that bring forth leaders, we need to help them to know what is happening, make the process easy for them.
What about the politicians themselves? What role,
the
particularly the political parties?
The political parties, this is supposed to be their primary responsibilities. But in Nigeria, our political parties have not evolved to appreciate that as a responsibility. They only come alive after their primaries. Yes, they make some effort in trying to inform their people that you need to go and get your CV. But you don't see them going to markets with town criers, using all sort of mediums of communication to reach people that, look, you need to go and get these things done. And that's look at the telecoms operators. When they needed Nigerians to register their SIM, they went and make sure they reach Nigeria in every nook and cranny. But this process that we are doing, we stay somewhere and expect the voter, the citizen to come. Yes, the citizens will come when they appreciate that this is really about changing my country. This is really about being a citizen, being a true born. But, there are frustrations like we have identified. So it would have been, it's the expectation that political parties will take the gauntlet, will lead in that process. They are not doing that at the moment, but we can't leave everything to them, because they usually are the ultimate beneficiary of, the kind of system we have. If we want the citizens to be the true beneficiary of our electoral process, then we need to empower the citizens, we need to motivate, encourage the citizens, make things easier for them. INEC is doing a lot. We appreciate that they're improving on their system, but they need to do much more.
Okay. Right. Okay, we'll just take a break. When we come back, we'll read some of the emails sent in and also go to our Abuja studios to wrap up this show. Stay with us.